I mean, I know it's controversial, but personally, I'd put him into the Hall of Fame. I mean, it's only two people. It's
Dear God. Speaking of the Hall of Fame, your two favourite non-wrestling YouTubers about to talk about wrestling. Hello, I'm Alex. I'm joined by John. John, how are you feeling WrestleMania fever? I know for the past few years it's been your go-to. When I ask you how you're doing, I'm coming down WrestleMania fever. I'll tell you what, John, I'm going to quickly butt in and say this is the most talked about wrestling in ages. But
it's very nice to have. It's very nice to have like a big. I was going to say a big show, but obviously not him. It's very.
wow.
It's very nice to have like a big show like this coming up and be safe in the knowledge that the man who traditionally fucks these things up is not around to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think when you go into the fact that this is Triple H's first proper go at having a WrestleMania, I suppose,
Yeah,
in the senses of he's done last year's, but that was, I suppose, in the midst of his first run,
yeah.
whereas this is like proper, okay, he's going for it sort of vibes, and you look at it and you kind of just go, you know what? He's built a good show. Raw 2 weeks ago in Chicago was specifically must see, not to use the Mrs. term, but you know what I mean. Like that show from Chicago. Normally 3 hour Raws, I check out the bits that I know are going to be good and then I skip the rest. That Chicago show was 3 hours of brilliance.
There was nothing to fast forward through on that.
No, that was incredible. I'm also just a massive fan of how everything matters on WWE TV now. Like you barely go through an episode where so it's like I mean, whether it's even like a little small tag team story, like we've got the Candice going on at the minute. Like even those matches, you've got to watch those. You can't really skip those because everything's happening. And if something doesn't happen, it's normally a good match with Chad Gable and Shinsuke or something like that. So if it's not following a story, it's normally just good wrestling. Which under a certain bloke, that wouldn't be the case. You'd get comedy segment, which is I'd say comedy in quotation marks, and you get a load of wasting time.
I'm
Um,
talking about Kingdom.
yeah, I also think as well this WrestleMania, there's only a few matches I'm going in that I don't care for. And when I say a few, I mean like one or two that have kind of just been chucked together.
You're fired.
Um, but you know, the rest of them, like even some of the random singles that again, normally I'm talking about LA Knight and AJ here, which kind of like a basic feud, but it's got me enticed. It's got me enticed.
I must admit, I am looking at the card for both nights, and I'm thinking to myself, this is a little bit tricky because where are my piss breaks?
Yeah. There's only one for me. There's only
Okay,
one. Um,
that's interesting. That'd be interesting to.
but I'll go through only because I
I'll
think
be
it's had
interested to see when we get to that. I'll be interesting to see why.
I don't know if it's on night one or night two. That, if, by the way, if you're watching on YouTube, which of course you are, listen to the podcast. I'm looking at my phone because I've got the matches here. I'm not just like ignoring John and texting. Um, but you know, so I'm just gonna see whether I like the order they're doing here, or if I'm gonna switch it out. I'm not sure. Do you know what, John? We're gonna go in with this match. We're gonna go in with the women's World Heavyweight Championship match for Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch, night one. For me, this is the only one where I think the build's been lackluster, but I know the match is going to slap.
This is an interesting one because I think yeah, maybe there could have been a bit more attention paid to it. I think the build has maybe been a little bit screwy because you've had one or two other people involved. You've had Nia
Yeah,
involved at points. You've had Liv involved at points. Um, and yeah, the focus really should be on these two incredible women. Um, the match itself is obviously going to be blockbuster. If I was booking this, this would be my main event of night one. I'm pretty sure WWE won't do that. I'm pretty sure they'll go with the tag match, um, with Rock and Roman. But this would, if I was booking this, this would be my main event for night one. Because I think this is the one that's most sort of guaranteed to deliver. Um,
Yeah, like for me, I feel kind of bad going into this Mania. And I say that because normally what they've done in the past years, not the last two actually, which is kind of shit, but normally they did one women's main event and one men's. And
Yeah.
for the last two Manias, we're not going to get a women's main event, which sucks considering women's wrestling in WWE, in my opinion, has never been this great.
Yeah, and I mean, I can understand why this year because obviously you've got the one big storyline and it all kind of, your main event of like what night one leads directly into your main event of like night two, which
Yeah.
is kind of the same as with last year, actually. The main event of night one, it was all about the bloodline and it led into night
It
two. So,
had to be done, didn't it?
yeah, it had to be done. And I think, sadly, I think that this has to be done. You cannot bring The Rock back and then not have him main event
Yeah,
on the night that he's wrestling.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
and you cannot. Well, we'll get on to night two, but I don't think that for reasons that we'll get to, I don't think that you can have that match and not have it as the main event.
Yeah, it's
Um,
it's this is really tough on all four women involved in the two big women's title matches because both storylines, actually, one storyline's been really good and that match been really good. And these two, Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch, are just two of the best women's wrestlers ever. And this is a match we've been building up to for years and it should be on a main event stage. In any other show, it would main event. But when you've got Big Dwayne, the final boss, you ain't main evented. And that
yeah,
there's nothing against The Rock. I think those arguments of The Rock coming back and it ruining wrestling and part
yeah,
time, he's the reason we've had 13 straight sellouts. That entire WrestleMania press conference, which I think everybody thought was absolute rubbish, that's the reason this Mania is as big as it is,
no,
because
yeah,
of things like that.
absolutely, absolutely. So I just hope if this isn't going to main event, I just hope they open with it. To be honest, give opening match is your second best slot. Uh,
Yeah, I like also realistically as well. That's a big sort of. You look at it and you go, "How do we follow this?" If I would be worried for anybody else on that card because I think this could be match of the weekend as a wrestling match easily. These two, we've never seen them go at it together, but you can just tell it's like the previous era and the new era coming together. Two great wrestlers. This can't fuck up. Like this. This is like when you had Rhea versus Charlotte last year. You just knew it was going to be a good match, and even then, that story wasn't that great either.
no,
Um, if Rhea Ripley can get a great match out of Nia Jax, this match has got to be 10 out of 10. That's all I'm saying. But I am going to go Rhea Ripley as well, which I don't know if that's going against the grain, but I've got Rhea Ripley here.
I'm going the other way. I'm going with Becky. I basically because they've just brought her autobiography out.
Yeah,
They're going to want to walk in around with a belt. I'm not entirely sure that it will be a clean win. I think that there will be shenanigans. We've mentioned that both Nia and Liv have been involved in the build up to this. Neither of them are on the card for Mania.
which is gutting. And
So
also
I think
there's no women's battle royal either, which is
I
gutting as
think
well.
we could see a bit of interference, um, from one or both of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Becky's winning this.
Right, so we already
I just
disagree.
can't.
So
I just can't see. I just can't. I'd love Rhea to keep the title, but just with Becky's autobiography out, which is brilliant, by the way. Buy it from your local sellers or download it from Audible or whoever you purchase books from. Very, very good. But I just can't see them not giving it a belt.
yeah. Right. So from that to the one match I do think is a piss break, and it's really unfortunate to say, it's going to be Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Santos Escobar and Dirty Dom. I just don't care. Like this is one of those really annoying things because it's four good wrestlers, and 2 weeks ago they went, "Oh shit!" So we got really nobody with Santos Escobar that we can put there. Dominic Mysterio could just show up and go in there, which I guess works as a match. But in terms of a WrestleMania storyline, it's the one match I go, "Eh,
Yeah, we already did the Ray and Dom thing. You know, we did the Ray and Dom thing. We moved on from that, and it's like, we're back here, are we?
And this came out of nowhere as well. Like there wasn't even any build up to it. Dom just showed up on SmackDown 2 weeks ago, and then we went, all right, this is the direction now.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't care who wins, but I guess I'll go with the heels because Santos just turned heel. Dom needs to win something because he's not won in
Yeah,
ages.
I think Santos needs to win more than the good guys do.
Yeah, absolutely. From this match to the more entertaining thrown together tag team match, Bianca Belair, Jay Cargill, and Naomi versus Damage Control, which consists of Dakota Kai, Asuka, and Kairi Sane. Well, it's easy. The faces are winning this. I don't think we need to
Jade,
discuss it. This
Jade's not going to lose her first proper match.
Nope. Well, now we get into like apart from this is the first one. I want to do now we get into the rest of the cards. I think it's banger after banger. Let's start with Gunther taking on Sami Zayn. He's not losing that belt. Bash at Berlin's the thing. He's not losing that belt.
I think I agree with you. I think I agree with you. He's not losing the belt. I do think I the first partly because Bash at Berlin's a thing. Also, as we'll come on to later, I think that later in the year there are going to be other plans for Sammy,
Yep.
and I think that him having an IC title could get in the way of that. Um,
Yeah.
if he does, I mean, if he does somehow win this, and he will be a transitional champ, he'll be dropping it again quite quickly.
Which is
But
gut.
I do think Gunther retains.
And I'm not because I'm awful, but I just think Sammy was the wrong choice. It should be Chad Gable. It
That
should,
should absolutely be Chad Gable.
and that's nothing against
I
Sami
mean,
Zayn.
that's not to that that's not to say we're not going to get that down the line. It's what the fans want. And I do believe that when they put that change in place, Chad will be the one to take the belt off of him.
Yeah. Either that, there's only two people I think can take the belt
Or
off
Jay.
Gunther. Mine's or Ilya Dragunov. There's the other one. Bash at Berlin. Gunther versus Dragunov. Book it, Trips. Book it. Do it. You won't, but do it. That'd be a great match. Right, next up, let's go for possibly the match with the most build up. Since brothers, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, one on one for the first time. Another match of the weekend contender. We've never seen them in a singles match against each other. But again, I can't not think it's going to be brilliant. Um, I'm going to go Jey Uso here, mainly because if this man doesn't get a win over his family at some point, he's going to look a little bit like a bitch. So he has to win something. I mean, yeah, Yeet's cool, but he's been dicked on every single time. So I think it's his crowning moment. He finally gets that big win. And even Jimmy can turn face afterwards. There's a respect moment, and that's where Jimmy kind of goes, you know what? You're my brother. But like, I just think there's more stock in Jay as a singles guy as well. Like, I don't see what giving Jimmy the win does, personally.
I'm going the other way on this. I am going to go with
Ooh.
Jimmy because you're saying that this is their first match against each other. To me, that suggests it's not going to be the last. It's not going to be the end of the feud. The only way that the best way to continue that is to have Jimmy win this, maybe with a bit of help from Solo on the outside.
You.
I'm going Jimmy here.
You. I'll go Jay. So we've got a few disagreements. This is good so far. We've got a couple.
Yeah,
I think last year we had like three across the card, so we were like relying on one match or something. Whereas this
yeah.
time we've got a good few. It's exciting.
Good. I think it's because it's tougher to call.
Yeah. Okay. We've only got two matches left for night
Yeah,
one.
night,
So
night, night two might not be tougher to call,
yeah.
but no one.
Right, let's go to potentially the most chaotic match of the weekend, the six-pack ladder match for the undisputed tag team titles, and also announce that the match won't end as well with one belt being hung down. Both sets of belts have to be hung down, so they're definitely splitting them, which I think is brilliant. The Judgment Day are taking on DIY or DX, Regeneration X, if you're our truth, the Awesome Truth, New Day, A Town Down Under, and New Catch Republic. So, John, there's two winners here. Who's it going to be and what belts?
I mean, I don't give a shit what belts, to be honest. Um, if my boys Awesome Truth don't come out of this with a pair of belts, I am going to be a very pissed off cookie.
Yeah.
Because I mean, R-Truth has been the MVP of WWE over the last year. He has been
Yep.
absolutely fantastic. The crowd love him. You know, he's done everything that's been put in his way, from trying to enter the fucking women's World Royal Rumble to just everything. Um, give him a bloody belt.
Yep.
Give him a little run with it. So I'm going awful truth. Awful truth. That'd be good. Awful
The
truth.
awful truth.
The awful truth.
That's when they turn heel.
Yeah, the awful truth. Um, and yeah, I don't really care what belt they take, but they're going to take one of them. The other I think is a bit trickier.
Yeah. Okay, this
Um,
might help you because we got
I,
one the same.
what?
So I also agree that Awesome Truth are going to get one. I'm going to go with they get the Raw Tag Team Champions. I'm going to go with a rogue shot here, Mr. Cook. I'm going to go with New Catch Republic are taking the other set of belts, and they're going to take the SmackDown belts.
I
That's
would
my
love.
pick.
I would love to see it. I would really love to see it. I'm actually going to go Judgment Day retaining one of the sets of belts.
Ooh, okay,
I think.
interesting.
I mean, it's all they got at the moment. You know.
Yeah,
Um,
I think this show is going to be the end of the Judgment Day.
I think it's possible. I think there's potential for that. Um, that has to happen at some time
Yep.
quite soon over the next couple of months because time's running out on that contract.
And who's even got the contract? Mm. Anyway, and in our night one main event, it's the Bloodline, the final boss, The Rock, and the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns taking on Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. If the Bloodline win, it's Bloodline rules for night two, and if Cody and Seth win, there's no Bloodline at ringside for night two, and that's
I
really
mean,
boring.
we all know what way this is going, don't we?
Yeah, yeah. Do you want the really chaotic, fun result, which leads to a more interesting night two, and
We all know
or and
this.
or just people are banned from ringside? The Rock and Roman Reigns for 200, please.
Yeah,
Uh,
we all know what way this is going.
so
Um,
let's.
this is this is bloodline all the way. We're gonna have
Yep,
absolute carnage in the main
yep,
event on Saturday night. Um, but yeah, this is bloodline all the way. That what? Why would you even have this stipulation if you weren't going to use it?
yep. Right, let's go to night two then. Let's kick off with I think the match that's going to kick off the show: Seth freaking Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre's taken this belt, and if he doesn't, I'm going to riot. He has been the other MVP of WWE in recent months. He's a heel that is rightfully heel. Everything he says makes sense. He got stripped of having his moment in front of fans. The crowd forgot about him. They started booing him because he aligned with Judgment Day because he wanted to fight Jey Uso, who he rightfully had beef with. I'm Drew McIntyre all the way. CM Punk, of course, on commentary, which is great for us. He's probably going to get involved somehow. Um, but yeah, Drew McIntyre for me, John.
Yeah, I never forgot about you, Drew.
No, we didn't. We're
Yeah,
big fans.
we never forgot about you. We've been blowing your trumpet all the way. We never forgot about you.
Yep.
Yeah, Drew's taking this. And I think it's gonna very much be a case of what he's been saying in promos all along, which is Seth's been involved with the bloodline. He's taken his eye off the ball. Yes, Seth's taken his eye off the ball. He's probably going to get a bit of a kick in on Saturday night. He's not going to be 100% for this. Drew's gonna kick his fucking head off.
Yeah, I really hope that it is still a good match because although
I'm sure
obviously
it
it
will
could be
be.
a good angle. Yeah.
I'm sure it will be. But
No, but my fear is that they do the angle of Seth injured, so Drew gets an easy win. So I don't hope they
yeah,
do that because I think I
it won't be an easy win. It will not be an easy win. But Drew is taking this. I think where it will lead us possibly afterwards is to a Seth heel turn.
yeah, because the only thing he's really got as a character, I mean, especially when Punk comes back, Seth's gonna telling him one of
Yeah.
the best way.
No, I think Seth will be like, I lost my belt because I got involved in this.
Yeah,
I'm now a
I-
heel.
absolutely. Let's go on to the match that I wasn't interested in until I saw the stipulation, which is the Pride, Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits taking on the Final Testament, Karrion Kross, Akam, and Razor. I wasn't bothered by this when I heard it, and I saw it was a six-man Philadelphia street fight, and that to me screams carnage. And we love a bit of carnage at WrestleMania. I don't care who wins though, because both these groups are boring. But like,
I mean, when you said that when you said that the stipulation made it interesting, I thought we were going to be talking about a Scarlet on a pole match or something.
yeah, there's B Fab involved as well. I forgot that she existed, bless her, but she's involved here.
Yeah,
Um,
this is going to be mayhem. Um,
I'll go with the Final Testament because I don't think they've done anything.
yeah, I think they need it more.
Yep.
I think they need it more than the Pride. Which
Right.
I didn't even know that was what they were called.
Neither did I.
Um,
Neither did I.
I mean that's just a bit. Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
Like what are they fucking lions or something now? Um,
Uh,
but
from the day we arrived on the planet.
God.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, it'll pass some time when
Yeah, exactly.
it'll get a bit messy and yeah, let's go for the heels.
Yeah. Okay, next up, just a basic singles match. Again, I'm ashamed that it's not some kind of stip because of all the chair-based offense. LA Knight versus AJ Styles. Um, please give it to LA Knight. They've kind of killed the
Yeah.
poor man and his hype. Bless him. Um, how this man is not in a title match this weekend is ridiculous. And although we can talk about long-term storytelling, his hype compared to where he was this time last year is way down now. A lot of people have forgotten about him, but I just think he's lost. It's not the Daniel Bryan thing where they've kind of kept him relevant. They sort of just like pushed him under the rug because they're not ready for him yet. It's kind of just like suffered because of it. And it's unfortunately, but yeah, I'm going to go LA Knight for a win. I'm sorry,
Yeah, I
AJ.
think a lot of the focus has gone on to people like The Rock and CM Punk. Yeah, I think Knight's gonna win this.
Yep. Next up is the triple threat match for the United States Championship. Logan Paul, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens. Great, love this. What a triple threat. This is going to be carnage. Again, another carnage match. Uh, I'm getting shades in a different way of the Gunther, Drew, and Sheamus one from last year. Obviously, very different match. That one was beefy boys just beating the shit out of each other. This one I think is going to be more flippy and a bit more, tactical. But
Yeah,
when you got, but
probably
I'm going to go.
and probably with KSI around the outside sometime.
And as a British person, I love KSI. So get him involved, and also he did very well with the RKO cell. Fair play to him,
Yeah.
considering that was his first ever proper WWE bump that wasn't through a table or something.
Question is if
Um,
he can turn up dressed as a fucking bottle of Prime this year.
I think they've already done that, unless I get somebody else involved. But yeah, I'm going to go Logan Paul to retain, John. Yeah, SummerSlam, Cleveland, Ohio.
It's difficult to see which of Randy or Owens is going to take it off of him. So I think you're probably right.
Yeah, I think they might get in each other's way because obviously they've been building. Oh, they're getting on so well. When it comes to the match, they were like obviously someone will go for the traditional triple threat where two people
Yeah,
get on.
very much in the way it was with Drew and Sheamus last year.
Yeah, yeah. When they just go for that first pin, it was like, "What the hell are you doing, man? No." That sort of vibe.
I mean, never trust a Viper.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to see Randy or Kevin take it though, because I mean Randy more really due to the injury kind of thing. I like to see Randy kind of get a bit of flowers for coming back and doing it so well. But I understand if they don't want to do that, and they probably want to put him higher up the card. But
Yeah, coming back fucking jacked.
yeah, absolutely. Next up is a singles match for the WWE Women's Championship. It's Io Sky defending against Bailey. This is probably the most obvious result of the weekend for me. I feel really bad because for Io Sky, this feud isn't really about Io. Bless her. And Io's great, right? I remember I go about the backlash last year in Puerto Rico when she was more over than Bianca Belair, just based on how good her wrestling was. And now they basically turned the feud into it's not really about Io, it's more about Dakota Kai, which is really gutting. Like I don't think they've really given Io the trust to hold the story. And Io's a great storyteller. You know, so Bailey's winning because like I'll be shocked if she doesn't.
In the same way that Drew is going to be rewarded for carrying the promotion through the pandemic, Bailey did exactly the same, and this will be her reward.
Yeah, and I like the fact that Bailey's a babyface because me and you have always liked Bailey anyway. We've always been part of the Bailey fan club, heel or face. So being able to actually cheer her again is great. And obviously, the UK have always had like a little attachment to her because we created the hey Bailey, ooh.
We are Bailey buddies.
Yeah, we've been there since day one, and I think 'cause obviously there was that awkward amount of Money in the Bank where they were doing the chant again, and she like let it go for like 10 seconds because obviously they all find it fucking hilarious, and she realized, oh shit, I've got to heal it up, so she was like, shut up, that sort of stuff. But I think the UK was we kind of adopted Bailey a little bit in the UK. She's sort of like a natural baby face, whether she's a heel or not here in the UK. So Bailey's going to take the W, and that leads us
But
to
it wasn't as good as the Dom's a wanker chant.
yeah. Again, and now they decided to pop back up to Scotland as well. It's only going to get more interesting up
Oh,
that way.
yeah, yeah. I think the chants are going to be even better up there.
But that leads us to our main event. Possibly, I know they always say this, but possibly the biggest main event in WrestleMania history. Cody Rhodes taking on the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, in what I'm going to call a Bloodline Rules match.
I mean, Rock Austin at Mania 17 wants a word, but
Yeah, but it's close, isn't it? It is close. Will we look back on this and go, do you know what? This is up there. That's what I'm thinking. But Bloodline rules. But John, here is the important question: is Cody finishing the story, or is Roman going to keep the belt?
God, I bloody hope so.
But the
Because
best thing is,
this, this story is taking longer to finish than fucking Game of Thrones.
yeah, it's
No,
longer than
yeah,
the.
I think Cody's finishing the story. Obviously, this will be Bloodline rules. Um, I think that he's going to get a relatively clean win. Um, without much controversy where Roman's involved. What I think we will see is somebody else maybe coming out to negate The Rock.
And Steve Austin.
Yeah,
Um,
we could, yeah, I've already mentioned it. Stone Cold could legitimately head down to the ring and nail him with a stunner. Cena could legitimately come down to, either Stone
Solo.
either Stone Cold or Cena
I
or
think both.
or fucking both
Yeah, I think both.
coming down to even up the numbers would be
Yeah. Well,
would
John,
be good.
here's my thing. Because obviously the first of all, the link between Rock
But
and or
Cody
Cena
has to
and
be
Austin.
it has to be a relatively clean win for Cody. I don't see them getting too involved with Roman. I do
Yeah.
see them coming down and sorting stuff out on the outside.
Yeah, my thing is like if they get involved or help him against Roman, then that's not on. But if they negate the factors from the
Yeah,
outside, then that's cool.
it has to be a clean win.
But no, the reason that I think it's Austin and Cena. First of all, we got the link between both of those guys with The Rock anyway, but also the last time we saw Cena was against Solo Sikoa. So I think that's how you bring Cena back. His last defeat was against Solo. He takes out Solo. Yeah, I'm also going to go Cody to finish the story, but there's part of me that thinks he might not. So, God, John, if we are here on Monday and he's not finished the story, I'm going to be shocked. I'm going to be a bit sad, and I'm going to be sleep deprived, hungover probably as well
I
because
mean,
I'm going to need a bit of booze to get through this.
I
Like,
mean, I mean, what if this is absolute chaos? Absolute bloody
oh,
chaos.
I,
Cody,
I think.
Cody, Cody gets the 1, 2, 3,
Oh no! Don't say Damien or
and
Finn
then
cash in.
just as just as the lights come out, Damian Priest comes running down with the briefcase,
Yeah,
hands it in. They open the briefcase.
nothing's there.
Where's your contract, dude? And Damian goes, "Where's my contract, dude?"
Yeah,
Finn Balor smacks him in the back of the head,
yeah.
nails Cody, and your new undisputed champion, Finn Balor.
Wouldn't shock me. It
I'd
really
be,
wouldn't shock me.
I'd be here for it. I'd be here for it. I love myself some Balor.
Again, I'd be too drunk, I think, by that time in the morning to like not know
I'd
what's
be here
going
for
on.
it. I'd be absolutely here for it. Love myself some Balor. But I mean, so
Yeah,
it could happen.
But
But
John, isn't this exciting that we're going into WrestleMania and going into a main event where it's not obvious? Like, even though like into our brains it's so obvious, could he finish his story? There's so many permutations as to how it might not be.
I mean, it seemed obvious last year, and it was.
Yeah, we were very certain Cody was good.
We were absolutely sure last year, and it wasn't. So I think that we are quite rightly a bit more cautious this year.
Yep.
Uh, but I mean, let's face it, if he doesn't, it's
Hmm.
gonna be a fucking riot, isn't there?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, also as well, do we think Mama Rhodes is going to get involved somehow? Or do you think the belt that The Rock's going to present to Mama Rhodes is actually the Undisputed Championship? And it's all been a ruse this whole time. And actually, it all worked together. Um,
Yeah, but I think then if it has been a ruse all along, I think that kind of gets in the way of it being a clean victory.
yeah, I suppose. I suppose. I mean, here's the thing, right? Is that I'm going to be sad that The Rock's going to be disappearing after this because his promo work has been sensational.
Oh, nobody is better than Heel Rock.
I
Nobody
mean,
is better than Heel Rock.
he potentially gave us the best ending to an episode of Raw in a decade
Yeah,
with that whole truck thing.
yeah,
I also like the fact as well, obviously it was for purpose for the next episode, but then he was like, just because the camera stopped doesn't mean I stop. That stuff is great.
yeah.
Love
And
it.
I mean, the fact that he's brought back the "Die Rocky Die" chant from
Yeah.
1996, you
Yeah.
can't beat it.
The best thing as well is that he's so good that when he's not with Roman, he gets cheered because he's so charismatic. As soon as Roman comes out, he gets booed the fuck. I love it. I think it's great. Yeah, WrestleMania though, John. WrestleMania XL, WrestleMania 40 from Philadelphia has potential to be incredible. I still think last year's WrestleMania is up there as maybe top five, if not close to it. But this one could usurp that and could be top three.
He could. It could. He's got the potential to do it.
Yeah, obviously as well there's WrestleMania SmackDown, but no one cares about that. Ricochet or Chad Gable probably winning the Battle Royal. Who cares?
You got one night stand as well, which is probably a bit more exciting.
Yeah, whoop that trick. Um, all about it. And Roxanne Perez is doing some good shit as well as a heel now. So all about her getting a result. But we will be back on Monday. So there'll be two uploads on Monday. We'll be back on Monday. One of us, one where we're probably fresh faced and decent energy, another one where we're reviewing wrestling. Probably in my case, a bit hungover, definitely tired, and a bit groggy.
Undoubtedly tired.
And we'll probably be a bit like, what? Potentially, especially if that Judgment Day malarkey also happens. But we will be
Oh,
here to talk about it all.
if Finn Balor wins the belt, I will not be. I'll be buzzed to fuck.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be there. I've got a new bottle of rum for it. I've got an entire, and I'm just gonna be there. Like, how much am I gonna get through over the course of these?
I'm working on Monday. I can't drink.
Yeah, that's the issue with the two night manias, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the issue. Like, they changed it to Saturday, and that meant we could do it, and we could like review it on Sunday. And
Yeah.
now it's like, well, this time it's back to normality. But tell you what, that's I was going to ask you, John, on paper, which one do you think is better in terms of match quality? 'Cause I think they're both equally balanced this year. Some years it's been like I'm more excited for this night than I am the other one. This time I think both nights are pretty on par with each other.
It's a tough call. It's a tough call. I'm probably going to go the Sunday because that's got the three world titles rather than the one.
Yeah.
But it is close.
Yeah, I also think the Sunday having the triple threat for the US, and also the whole women's situation with Bailey and stuff. That win's going to be mega. Um, but obviously that ladder match could be insane. But every match has got something to prove. Even the Dom and Ray they can do great things together. There's not a match like there's not a Brock. No disrespect to either. Actually, disrespect to one of them. No disrespect to Omos. When we watch like kind of be like predictions for Brock Lesnar versus Omos, and we went, oh, that's no disrespect to Omos. The other guy, um, Omos, lovely fella. He reviews fragrances on TikTok.
It,
Seems like a lovely guy.
it's it's very interesting that Roman Reigns is inducting Heyman into the Hall of Fame. You do wonder if until quite recently they had somebody else lined up to do that, don't
Yeah, I love it when he kissed The Rock's hand on Raw though. That was just made me piss myself.
you?
Yeah. Anyway, that's it. That's it for us. We'll be back on Monday and take it easy. Enjoy WrestleMania. Keep that fever going, and I guess as well we might do some predictions for Raw after Mania. Although in the last few years it's kind of been a bit dead, so maybe we won't bother. But maybe we will.
We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see what we're feeling. But guys, enjoy WrestleMania. Eat some junk food if you want to, or don't. It's up to you. But we'll see you in a bit. Goodbye.
Good night, God bless. Don't have nightmares. Do sleep well. Oh yeah, dig it.